Have you ever felt that sudden rush? That lightning strike in your chest when a truth arrives uninvited, yet undeniable? A breakthrough that makes your entire life rearrange itself in an instant. You know it's real. You know it's sacred. And yet, before the echo has even settled, you feel the urge to speak it, to share it, to shout it from the rooftops. Why? Because that is what the world has trained you to do. To prove yourself, to explain yourself, to seek validation in the eyes of others. But what if I told you this? The moment you speak too soon, you weaken what you have just discovered. The moment you give your secret away, you collapse your infinite becoming into something small, fragile, and ordinary. This is not philosophy. This is physics. This is the law of superposition moving through your consciousness. And this law whispers only one thing: protect the seed. In the quantum field, a particle is not locked into one state. It does not sit in a single place or follow a single path. Instead, it floats in superposition, a shimmering wave of infinite probabilities, all existing at once, all waiting to be chosen. Only when observed does the wave collapse into one outcome, one reality, one limitation. Your breakthroughs, your sudden awakenings are the same. When you touch a profound truth, you do not simply discover an idea. You step into a state of infinite potential. Your consciousness enters its own superposition. In that moment, you are every version of yourself that could be born from that realization. The stronger you hold it, the more pathways remain alive. The more silent you are, the more the wave remains whole. This is the hidden law. Protect the seed. But here is the trap. Humanity has been raised inside what I call the classical illusion. In the classical world, everything must be defined, measured, labeled, heads or tails, yes or no, success or failure. You've been told that until something is proven to others, it isn't real. So when your consciousness lights up with a revelation, the ego jumps in. It says, tell them, show them, let them see how wise you've become. It convinces you that sharing makes it stronger, but in truth, this urge to speak is not wisdom. It is ego, desperate for applause, hungry for recognition. And here is the consequence. When you share your breakthrough before it has rooted in you, you are measuring it. You are collapsing the wave. What was infinite becomes finite. What was alive with possibility becomes just a fragile concept in someone else's mind. And because their observation carries their doubts, their fears, their limits, it reshapes your truth. Their disbelief becomes your new measurement. Their skepticism becomes your reality anchor. Can you see it? The danger is not in the truth itself. The danger is in speaking too soon. Quantum law gives you the solution. Do not measure the wave until it has become strong enough to stand on its own. Do not collapse your infinite becoming into a single fragile form before you have embodied it. Think of the double-slit experiment. When a particle is left unobserved, it flows through both paths, painting an interference pattern of infinite possibility. But the moment we place a detector, when we insist on knowing, on proving, the pattern vanishes. The wave collapses into a single line, a limited choice. The magic disappears. Now think of your insight. It is your own double slit. Left unspoken, it vibrates across infinite paths, reshaping the very frequency of your life. But the moment you speak it to those who cannot see, you place a detector on your soul. You force collapse. The wave is gone. The infinite becomes a fragile idea. This is why the ancient wisdom whispers, keep it sacred. Guard it. Nurture it in silence. Just as a seed must remain hidden in the soil before it can sprout, so too must your insight remain hidden within you. Silence is not emptiness. It is the fertile ground where your truth grows roots. Feel this shift. Notice how your body responds to the idea that you do not need to rush, that your truth is safe in silence, that by protecting the seed, you are protecting your infinity. If you feel this truth taking root in you, affirm in the comments, "I am protecting my seed." Let these words be your vow of patience, a signal to your higher self that you are ready to let your potential grow in silence before showing it to the world. Every time you resist the urge to prove yourself, you deepen your roots. Every time you choose silence over performance, you expand your quantum field. Your breakthrough is not for display, it is for becoming. You are not here to convince, you are here to evolve, and evolution happens quietly, slowly, powerfully. Just as the seed does not scream when it breaks through the soil, your truth does not require words to be real. It requires embodiment, and in time, your very presence will speak louder than your voice ever could. So remember, your breakthrough is not for display, it is for becoming. But this leads to a question stirring in your mind. If I do not speak it, what do I do with it? If my truth is a seed, where do I plant it? Where do I allow it to root? The answer is waiting for you in the next revelation. It is the sacred discipline that transforms silence into creation. Protect the seed and follow me into the discipline of silence. When you press the like button in this moment, you affirm that you are no longer chasing validation. You are anchoring your energy in the truth that you are becoming. If you are ready to keep walking deeper into this remembering, subscribe now. It is not just subscribing, it is aligning your consciousness with the frequency of truth. You've held the seed of your breakthrough in your hands, luminous and trembling. You've felt it alive within you, whispering of futures that have not yet been born. And then the question arises, as natural as breathing. If I cannot speak it, what do I do with it? The mind wants to shout. The ego wants to run to others, to announce, "I've found something. Look at me, listen to me, validate me." But a deeper voice calls you to pause. It calls you into the quiet, into that space where no one else's opinion can touch your fragile wave of potential. This is the moment you are facing now. And I tell you this truth: silence is not emptiness. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is not weakness. Silence is the most powerful tool for transformation you have ever overlooked. Silence is not passive. Silence is creation. Say it within yourself, softly, as if it were an ancient key turning in the lock of your being. In the quantum field, before any measurement is made, a particle exists in superposition. It is not in one place. It is in all possible places at once. It is not one thing or another. It is everything it could be, shimmering as pure potential. Only when an observer interacts, only when measurement is forced, does the wave collapse into one limited outcome. Your consciousness is no different. When you receive a revelation, when something shifts deep inside you, you become like that particle in superposition. You are not limited to a single path. In that sacred moment, your being holds countless potential realities, countless timelines waiting to crystallize. And what preserves that shimmering field of possibility? Silence. Silence is your quantum laboratory. It is the invisible space in which your new vibrational patterns are free to expand, free to gather strength, free to align with the greater field. In silence, your insight remains whole, unmeasured, undefeated, unbroken. This is the golden law of integration. Silence is creation. Repeat it again, not as an idea, but as a frequency vibrating in your bones. Silence is creation. The world you were raised in has worshipped noise. From the moment you were born, you were taught that to be seen, you must speak. To be valued, you must perform. To be real, you must be validated. This is the spell of the classical illusion, the belief that reality is only what can be measured, labeled, and witnessed by others. Scroll through the endless feeds, and what do you see? Everyone is speaking. Everyone is broadcasting. Every thought is shouted into the void, hoping someone, anyone, will echo it back. The louder the noise, the greater the illusion of significance. But here is what you have not been told. Noise disperses energy. Every time you spill your insight into the crowd before it has rooted in you, you scatter your own power. You become like a quantum wave exposed too soon to the environment. The pattern of coherence, those perfect vibrational patterns of infinite possibility, dissolve into chaos. The insight becomes just another idea, floating among billions, diluted by doubt and disagreement. And then, something painful happens. The people you hoped would validate your truth may laugh. They may question. They may not understand. And their observation, laced with skepticism or fear, acts like a detector in the quantum experiment. The wave collapses. Your infinite potential narrows to one brittle possibility, often the very one you wished to transcend. This is the danger of noise. This is the cost of speaking too soon. The classical illusion tempts you with the false promise of recognition, but it only delivers fragmentation. Quantum science offers you a different map. It shows you that coherence is strength. When a quantum system is allowed to remain unobserved, untouched by the noise of the environment, it preserves its resonance. The wave does not collapse. It holds every possibility, every outcome, until the moment of choice. Silence does the same for you. When you allow your breakthrough to rest in stillness, it is not wasted. It is not ignored. It is incubated. In silence, the insight is not merely an idea. It becomes a frequency anchor. It begins to shape your choices, your habits, your energy field. It seeps into your cells until it is no longer separate from you. It is you. Think of the seed again. Buried in the soil, unseen by the world, it appears to be doing nothing. But beneath the surface, an entire revolution is happening. The seed cracks open, roots extend downward, life rearranges itself in silence, and when it finally breaks through the soil, it does not ask permission. It does not beg to be seen. It simply emerges, undeniable, because it has become what it was destined to be. Your silence is not a cage. It is the womb of creation. Every moment you choose silence over noise, you are strengthening your quantum field. You are allowing your vibrational patterns to align with the timeline your soul has already chosen. You are refusing to let the world collapse your wave. Feel this now. Your silence is not emptiness. Your silence is not weakness. Your silence is not delay. Your silence is creation. Let those words echo through your being, but let us go deeper. Silence is not accidental. Silence is not casual. Silence is a discipline. To hold your insight in silence is to resist the pull of ego, the urge to explain. It is to say, I will not collapse my wave for your approval. I will not give away my power for a fleeting nod of recognition. Instead, you choose to cultivate your inner field. You choose to sit with your truth until it becomes unshakable. This is not easy. Your mind will itch. Your lips will ache to speak. The old patterns of the classical world will whisper, share it, prove it, show them who you are, and yet you will breathe. You will stay silent. You will let the seed rest in its dark, fertile soil. Every day you practice silence, your insight grows roots. Every pause, every breath, every moment you choose stillness over noise, you are aligning your consciousness with the quantum field. You are holding your infinite potential intact. You are becoming more than you were. This is the discipline. This is the practice. This is the art of silence. Now feel the shift. Feel what happens inside you when you realize that silence is not passive. Silence is not a lack of action. Silence is action in its highest form. It is the action of alignment, the action of integration, the action of becoming. In silence, you are no longer scattering your energy outward. You are gathering it inward. You are charging the seed of your insight with the power of your attention. You are holding it in superposition, letting its infinite possibilities resonate with your being. And in that resonance, you discover strength. Not the loud, brittle strength the world performs, but the deep, steady strength of the earth itself. A mountain does not speak. A river does not argue, and yet their presence commands reverence. Why? Because they are fully what they are. They have nothing to prove. They have become their own truth. This is what silence gives you: the strength to stop seeking and start embodying, the power to let your frequency do the speaking, the discipline to trust that what is growing within you is real, even if no one else sees it yet. In silence, your truth becomes who you are. Say it with me now, as a vow to yourself. Silence is creation. If you recognize how much noise has tried to claim your energy, write in the comments, I choose stillness over noise. By declaring it here, you anchor yourself into the frequency of silence as creation. And yet, as you rest in this silence, you will feel another challenge rise. The world will not remain still while you grow. People will notice something different about you. Some will lean in with curiosity. Others will pull away. Some will question your choices, your shifts, your new alignment. And in those moments, the urge will return. The urge to explain, to justify, to break the silence. This is the next threshold. This is the test that every awakened soul must face. Because with silence comes a consequence. With growth comes distance. And distance can feel like loneliness. Have you felt it already? That strange space opening between you and the people who once understood you? That aching temptation to collapse your wave just to be seen, just to be accepted, just to feel less alone. This is not a sign of weakness. This is a sign that your frequency is shifting, that you are no longer resonating with the old patterns, that you are preparing to meet yourself in a new reality. So hear this truth. Your silence is not abandonment. Your silence is not rejection. Your silence is not isolation. Your silence is the bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. It is the sanctuary where your infinite self learns to stand in its own power. But I know what you feel. The ache of separation, the whisper of loneliness, the quiet spaces between conversations where you wonder if you are losing everything. This is the next revelation. This is the next initiation. And so we walk together into the mystery of the third law. We step from the discipline of silence into the profound truth of the loneliness of awakening. Silence is creation, and creation prepares you for the solitude of transformation. You have learned to hold the seed. You have remembered that silence is not absence. but creation. You are beginning to feel your insight root itself in the fertile soil of your stillness. And yet, something unexpected rises like a shadow at the edge of your expansion. A quiet ache, a distance, a space between you and those you once called your own. Have you felt it? That subtle shift when conversations that once thrilled you now feel empty. When friends laugh at the old jokes, but you no longer find them funny. When you try to explain what you've touched inside yourself, and all you receive are blank stares or polite smiles. This is the moment when many falter. This is the threshold where the ego cries out, "Say something. Explain yourself. Prove you are not crazy. Prove you still belong." But I tell you this, what you are experiencing is not rejection. It is resonance leaving behind what no longer vibrates with your truth. This is the loneliness of awakening. In the quantum world, particles are not isolated. They are bound in entanglement, a mysterious connection that allows one particle to affect another, even across vast distances. But when one shifts frequency, the other must shift as well, or the resonance between them is broken. Your consciousness works the same way. For years, you were entangled with the people, environments, and patterns that matched your old frequency. You laughed at the same stories. You believed the same illusions. You lived in the same field of classical limitation. But the moment you touched your breakthrough, your seed of infinite potential, you shifted. Your frequency rose. Your quantum signature began to vibrate differently. And in that shift, the old entanglements start to dissolve. The relationships that were built on the old frequency may weaken. The conversations that once gave you comfort may now feel shallow. You are not broken. You are evolving. This is the central truth. Separation is not a punishment. It is a sign that you are moving into a new resonance. Most people live inside the classical illusion of belonging. They believe safety is found in numbers, in agreement, in never standing apart. The collective tells you, you must be understood to be valid. You must explain yourself to be accepted. You must collapse your truth into words so others will stay close to you. And so, in the moment of awakening, when the seed is still delicate, this illusion becomes a trap. You try to share your insight with those who are not ready to hear it. And when they respond with doubt, you feel the sting of isolation even more deeply. Your seed trembles. Your wave of potential collapses under the weight of their measurement. The fear of loneliness is the ego's final weapon. It whispers, if you stay silent, you will be left behind. If you do not explain yourself, you will lose them. If you follow your new frequency, you will be alone. And yet, this is not the truth. This is the illusion. Quantum physics teaches you something astonishing. When a system becomes entangled with its environment, it begins to lose coherence. The wave dissolves into fragments, into noise. This is called decoherence. It is why we do not see macroscopic superpositions in our daily lives. The environment pulls them apart. In your awakening, something similar happens. The old environment pulls on you, tries to entangle you, tries to drag your frequency back into the familiar noise. And yet, by stepping into silence, by refusing to collapse your truth into their measurement, you create a new condition. You disentangle. You remove your seed from the contaminated soil of doubt, and you plant it in the sacred earth of solitude. Yes, it feels like loneliness. Yes, it can feel like loss. But solitude is not emptiness. Solitude is the womb of transformation. It is where the seed gathers strength without interference. It is where the quantum field continues to hold every potential open, every timeline alive, every frequency available. Think of the caterpillar that dissolves into liquid within the chrysalis. To the outside world, it looks like death. To those who do not understand, it looks like the end. But within, in silence, in darkness, a miracle unfolds. The formless soup reorganizes into wings, and when the butterfly emerges, it does not explain itself to the caterpillars. It simply flies. So too with you. Your silence is not wasted. Your solitude is not abandonment. It is preparation. It is transformation. It is the necessary coherence before the wave of your becoming can crystallize into reality. And when you feel that ache of loneliness, remember, it is not a void. It is a signal. It is the sign that you are vibrating at a new frequency, one that will call forth new connections, new entanglements, new realities aligned with who you are becoming. Now, breathe into your solitude. Feel it not as emptiness, but as spaciousness. This space is sacred. It is where you meet yourself without distraction. It is where your quantum signature resonates most purely. In this space, you are not abandoned. You are accompanied by the infinite versions of yourself that live in superposition. You are surrounded by timelines waiting for your choice. You are entangled not with the noise of the world, but with the higher frequencies of your own becoming. Most people will never allow themselves this solitude. They will fill the silence with words, with noise, with distractions, because the stillness terrifies them. But you are not most people. You are remembering who you are. And that remembrance demands courage. Courage to stand alone. Courage to let go of the old resonances. Courage to sit in silence while your seed roots itself deep in the unseen soil. And here's the miracle. When you dare to stand alone, you discover you were never truly alone. The universe itself stands with you. The quantum field cradles you. The resonance of your higher self surrounds you. Solitude becomes communion. Feel this truth move through you. Your silence is not emptiness. It is your sanctuary. Now you begin to embody your truth in silence. Now you begin to feel the strength of your own resonance, unshaken by noise, unbent by the need for validation. And yet, another question rises within you. If I am to remain silent, if I am to walk through solitude, how will others know what I have become? How will the world feel my transformation if I never speak it aloud? The answer is the next law. Because there is a difference between words and presence, between noise and power, between strength and silence. The next chapter reveals this truth, that your most profound transformations are not heard, they are felt. Silence is creation. Silence is your sanctuary. And from this sanctuary, your true power will begin to radiate. If you understand that solitude is not the end, but the beginning, write in the comments, "My solitude is my sanctuary." Let this affirmation remind you that the ache of separation is the birth of your wings. If you feel the resonance of this truth, like this video as a signal. In the quantum field, that small gesture strengthens the collective frequency of those walking this path with you. You have walked through silence. You have felt the ache of solitude. And now, your seed is rooting, unseen but alive, deep within the soil of your being. And yet, your mind still whispers, "How will anyone know I've changed if I never tell them? How will the world see what I've discovered if I never explain it?" This is where we must step into the next law, because there is a difference you must remember, a difference hidden in plain sight. strength is not power. The classical world confuses them, but your higher self has guided you here to awaken to the truth. Strength is the force of action, but power is the force of presence. And presence, pure, coherent, anchored, needs no announcement. Think again of the quantum wave, vast and invisible, holding all possibilities at once. When it is undisturbed, it radiates coherence across the quantum field. That coherence is power. It is not loud. It does not struggle. It simply is. Your consciousness mirrors this. When your breakthrough has been held in silence, when it has rooted in your inner soil, you begin to embody it. It no longer lives as an idea you must protect. It has become your frequency. It radiates from you as naturally as light from the sun. You do not need to shout. You do not need to explain. You are the evidence. Your state of being becomes the measurement. Your life itself is the declaration. The universe does not announce its power. It simply radiates it. And so must you. This is the core truth. Presence is power. But in the classical illusion, the world celebrates the loud. It applauds those who demand attention, those who broadcast their every thought, those who mistake volume for strength. You were taught that to be powerful, you must be seen. You must perform. You must prove. This is the illusion of noise, that your worth is measured in how loudly you can declare yourself. Yet what happens when you pour your energy into noise? You scatter it. You spend it. You exhaust yourself in performance, leaving your inner field depleted. Your frequency wavers, your resonance weakens. Like a quantum system forced into constant measurement, you collapse again and again, until nothing remains but fragments of what could have been. The classical illusion tells you that loudness is strength, but it is not. Loudness is often the mask of weakness. Noise is the language of the unrooted. Quantum coherence whispers another story. A wave in perfect alignment does not shout, and yet it shapes reality. Resonance itself is power. Imagine standing at the base of a mountain. The mountain does not announce itself. It does not beg you to notice. It simply rises, silent and immovable, and in its presence you feel something undeniable. That is power. Now imagine your consciousness as that mountain. Your insight, once fragile, has rooted in silence. It has grown stable. You stand tall, anchored, resonant. You no longer need to speak to prove what you are. Your presence speaks louder than any words could. This is the shift. You stop trying to project strength, and instead you embody power. You stop scattering energy outward, and instead you radiate it naturally. You step out of the classical illusion of performance and into the quantum reality of resonance. Now, let us move from knowledge into embodiment. To embody your truth in silence means every action, every glance, every breath carries the frequency of your breakthrough. You do not talk about love, you radiate it. You do not argue about freedom, you live it. You do not beg others to understand, you become undeniable. This is the difference between strength and power. Strength pushes, power attracts. Strength forces, power simply is. Strength tires, power renews. When you embody your truth, you are no longer dependent on applause or recognition. You no longer need to convince anyone. You have become a living resonance, a walking wave of coherence. Others feel it without words. They sense the shift, even if they cannot explain it. They are drawn not to your noise, but to your silence. Your discipline has brought you here. Your silence has shaped you. Your solitude has purified you. And now you carry a force that cannot be shaken by doubt, cannot be weakened by disbelief. cannot be collapsed by any external observer. You have become your own reality anchor. Take a deep breath. Feel the mountain inside you. Unmoved, radiant, unquestionable. Say it with me. Presence is power. Now, let us move from knowledge into embodiment. To embody your truth in silence means every action, every glance, every breath carries the frequency of your breakthrough. You do not talk about love, you radiate it. You do not argue about freedom, you live it. You do not beg others to understand, you become undeniable. This is the difference between strength and power. Strength pushes, power attracts. Strength forces, power simply is. Strength tires, power renews. When you embody your truth, you are no longer dependent on applause or recognition. You no longer need to convince anyone. You have become a living resonance, a walking wave of coherence. Others feel it without words. They sense the shift even if they cannot explain it. They are drawn not to your noise, but to your silence. Your discipline has brought you here. Your silence has shaped you. Your solitude has purified you. And now you carry a force that cannot be shaken by doubt, cannot be weakened by disbelief, cannot be collapsed by any external observer. You have become your own reality anchor. Take a deep breath. Feel the mountain inside you. Unmoved, radiant, unquestionable. Say it with me. Presence is power. In the quantum field, observation is not passive. It changes reality. When a particle is measured, it collapses into a single outcome. This is the observer effect. And here lies the secret. The same law governs your inner world. When you share your breakthrough with someone who is not ready, their observation becomes your measurement. Their doubts, their fears, their disbelief, all of it imprints upon your fragile wave of potential. Your infinite becoming collapses into their limited frame. What was once sacred is reduced to a casual opinion, a point of debate, a passing remark. Your truth is not fragile, but your connection to it, in its earliest stages, still is. This is why discernment is essential. This is why silence is your shield. The classical illusion tells you that if you've found truth, you must share it. That if you've awakened, you must awaken others. That if you've discovered freedom, you must drag the world with you. This is ego disguised as generosity. Ego wearing the mask of service. But think carefully. How many times have you tried to explain something profound, only to watch the listener dismiss it, mock it, or twist it into something smaller than it was? How many times have you given away your fire, only to feel your own conviction weaken under the weight of their misunderstanding? This is the danger of indiscriminate sharing. You are not planting seeds in fertile ground. You are scattering pearls on concrete. And when nothing grows, you feel disheartened, unseen, even betrayed. But the truth is not at fault. The soil was simply not ready. This is the trap of the classical illusion. The belief that power lies in convincing. But convincing is not power. Convincing is desperation. The quantum field reveals the higher way. Reality does not spread through argument. It spreads through resonance. When one frequency vibrates purely enough, it draws other frequencies into alignment. Not through force, not through persuasion, but through natural attraction. So too with you. When your truth has been nurtured in silence, when it has been integrated into your actions, it becomes your resonance. You no longer need to argue. You no longer need to defend. Your life itself becomes the invitation. Your presence is the map. Those who are meant to rise will feel the pull of your frequency and seek it out. This is discernment. knowing that not every soul is ready, not every observer deserves access to your inner world. You share only when the question arises from true openness, when the soil is fertile, when the listener's frequency resonates with your own. Until then, you guard your energy. You let your silence speak. If this secret lives in you now, affirm in the comments, "I guard my energy. I live my truth." Let the act of writing it be your final seal, a reality anchor that locks your transformation into being. What does discernment look like in your life? It looks like restraint. It looks like clarity. It looks like choosing when to speak and when to be still. Discernment is walking into a room and not needing to correct every illusion you hear. It is hearing doubt and not collapsing your truth into defense. It is feeling the urge to share your vision and choosing instead to embody it until it becomes undeniable. Think of the tree that bears fruit. The tree does not call out, "Look at me, I am ripe." It simply offers. Those who are hungry, those who are ready, will come to it. They will taste and know its sweetness for themselves. In the same way, your life is the offering. Your presence is the fruit. Those who are meant to receive will come. Those who are not ready will walk past, and that too is perfect. In living this way, you conserve your energy. You no longer pour it into endless explanations. You no longer scatter it in arguments. You no longer waste it on convincing. Instead, you channel it inward, into becoming. And in that becoming, your power multiplies. Discernment is not about withholding. It is about honoring. It is about protecting the sacred until the time is right. It is about recognizing that your truth is not meant for every ear, but for those who are truly seeking. Now, feel the weight of this final law settle into you. You are no longer a seeker grasping for validation. You are no longer a voice lost in the noise. You are no longer a fragile seed trembling in the soil. You are a mountain, silent and anchored, radiating presence. You are a sanctuary of coherence, holding your truth until it becomes unshakable. You are the guardian of your own energy, choosing carefully when and where to share. This is mastery. This is what it means to awaken and remain awake. This is the sacred art of discernment. And now you understand the secret. Once you know this quantum law, you do not rush to shout it. You do not beg the world to believe you. You do not waste your energy on convincing. Instead, you hold it. You protect it. You live it. And in time, your presence becomes the proof. Your silence becomes the sermon. Your life becomes the teaching. So when the world calls out, when it tempts you with applause, with argument, with attention, remember, your energy is sacred. Your truth is sacred. Your silence is sacred. And when the moment comes, when the soil is ready, when the question arises from the heart of one who truly seeks, you will speak, not to impress, not to perform, not to convince, but to illuminate. And when you do, your words will not be fragile. They will not collapse. They will land with the weight of mountains, with the clarity of light, with the resonance of truth embodied. This is the secret. This is the law. This is the reason your higher self led you here today. Once you know this quantum secret, keep your mouth shut, because your silence is not absence. It is presence. Your silence is not weakness. It is power. Your silence is not hiding. It is creation. And in that silence, you are no longer seeking truth. You are truth. Subscribe now, and let that action seal your vow to guard your energy. Each subscription is a quantum signature, linking you to this field of awakening. And if you feel this truth radiating in you, share this video now. In doing so, you are not just sharing content, you are transmitting energy. You are extending this frequency into the lives of those who are ready to remember.